still going to go through all of the evil of begging and being hungry. And for both you and the dog, you need to exercise more. And I want to kind of capstone this discussion about behavior with probably the best example I know of, showing the effect of behavior on nutrition. I worked for a zoo one time that had a very impressive collection of primates. It was a Noah's Ark of primates, but it was in an antiquated exhibit. At the time it was built, the exhibit was state of the art, but it was also a time when there was a great deal of concern about what's called zoonosis. Animal diseases going to people, and for our purposes, people diseases going to animals. As you know, in the Karasoke Research Center in Africa, there is one band of gorillas they don't let anybody get near because they don't want these gorillas getting tuberculosis from people. Well, the exhibit at this zoo was very sterile. It was all glass and tile so that they could sterilize everything. And the keepers, trying to alleviate this, put hay on the floor of all the exhibits. Now, they called me in because this entire collection had pathetic hair coats. The monkeys with long tails looked like rats. They had dandruff, they had thin hair, brittle hair, and I knew what to do. I promptly threw into their diet all the fixed hair coat items I knew about. Principal among them, the omega-3 fatty acids. But we did zinc and we did gelatin, all my favorite tricks. Nothing worked. The hair coat stayed lousy. A keeper one day forgot to put the peanuts in the diet. And so as he ran by the exhibit, he just threw them in the hay. The monkeys instantly went after the peanuts. And the keepers noticed something. Long after the peanuts were gone, the monkeys kept looking for them. So they put peanuts in every exhibit floor. Within a week, their hair coats were improved, and in 2 months, they were all perfect. The monkeys were crying for a chance to be monkeys. And when they put the peanuts out, they foraged all day and became monkeys. So the nutrition was perfect. How could it be anything else? I did it. But the behavior was flawed. So let's bring this back to our situation. Foxhounds often run 30 miles in 3 hours. And sled dogs burn 12,000 calories an hour, a day. 12,000 calories for a sled dog is the same as a person eating 30,000 calories a day. My point is, when you take your dog for a walk in the park for 20 minutes and you shuffle along lost in your own thoughts, and that dog darts back and forth for 20 minutes, you have not begun to realize that animal's potential for exercise. We can talk about diet all day long. Exercise is the best diet. So let's summarize here. You alter natural behavior. There are all these terms like positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. That's just shaping of the behavior, as the psychologists say. You've all been to SeaWorld and seen the treats that they give the dolphins. And you've seen the raptor show where they have a treat for the bird every time it behaves correctly. And you use treats to train your dog. And at the beginning, you use the treat every time you get the behavior that you want. But you realize, well, this can't go on for the dog's whole life. Every time it sits, I give it a treat. And so you back off. Now you're into intermittent reinforcement. And the beauty of intermittent reinforcement is it takes longer to go away. As the psychologists say, it takes longer for extinction. And the dogs get it. Oh, I see, this is a lottery. It doesn't pay off every time, but if I hang in there, it will. So they stay with you. And so finally, all it takes is a pat when they behave. And that satisfies them. I hope I've convinced you that excess soluble carbohydrates are the problem. It's not fat. I was in Abu Dhabi last fall, and I saw a truck, and the advertisement was in English. It was a diet bar, and it didn't say low fat, like everything here in the States. It said low carbohydrate. They get it in the rest of the world. They're only beginning to get it here. A good diet is low in soluble carbohydrates, and we talked about the different options. I particularly like raw because cooking does things that some animals, they miss what cooking takes out of the food. Lastly, exercise is the best diet. Thank you very much.